Here's your KNDY weatherology forecast for northeast Kansas and southeast Nebraska. Sunny skies today with highs around 63. Northwest winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 34. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Highs around 67. Tomorrow, bright sunshine. Slight chance for showers Wednesday with highs in the upper 70s. Partly cloudy Thursday. I'm staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently 50.
Kansas Mid-America Network News, I'm Andy Hoosier. New laws are set to take effect here in the state of Kansas after the state legislature wrapped up the state legislative session of 2025 over the weekend by overriding multiple different bills from Governor Kelly's vetoes. As KSN News reports that one of those bills that were overridden included House Bill 2062 that was a relatively controversial bill, at least for the governor, that was set to provide child support for unborn children from the date of conception. As according to the bill, they say it will direct medical and pregnancy-related expenses of the mother as a factor in for child support orders and will provide for an income tax exemption for unborn and stillborn children. At the same time, House Bill 2311 also prohibits the Secretary of Kansas Department of Children and Families from adopting or enforcing any policies for placement, custody, and appointment of a custodian that may conflict with sincerely held religious or moral beliefs regarding the sexual orientation or gender identity and creating a right of action for violations. The agriculture industry changes constantly. From commodity prices to trade deals, droughts and fuel prices, it's hard to keep your farm protected and prepared. That's where we come in. Join us every day right here on the Mid-America Ag Network as we cover your daily commodity prices with hourly market reports, news from the farm to bills in Washington, D.C., plus hear the latest across the Mid-America region that may affect your operation. From planting to harvesting and everything in between, it's the Mid-America Ag Network. We're here for you.
Are you ready for a new car? You can choose your ride this April at First Council Casino and Resort. That's right, choose your ride with up to $50,000 in cash on Saturday, April 26th. And that's not all. We are giving away $5,000 in cash every Saturday. Earn entries with your 7 Clan Players Club card and drive away with cash in your brand new ride. More rewards, more concerts, and more fun at your home for life-changing jackpots. Come see us at 7 Clans First Council Casino and Resort, Highway 77 in Newkirk, where the winners play.
Kansas officials say they are concerned about a potential program cut after federal funds may be paused coming from the Department of Health and Human Services. As KSNC News reports, the Kansas's Low Income Energy Assistance Program, also known as the LEAP program, could have an impact on lower income individuals across the state after the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services had ended up firing many individuals that were working on the LEAP program at the federal level. In a statement, the company of Evergy had said, quote, the Low Income Energy Assistance Program is an important program that assists some of our community's most vulnerable residents. Last year alone, Evergy's customer outreach teams worked face-to-face with nearly 70,000 customers to help them secure assistance for their utilities. Kansas has program funds that have already been received and are available to distribute to quality customers. The state's application window ended on March 31st. The company went on to say they are working with the National Trade Association and waiting to see how the program may evolve at the federal level. Mid-America Network News.
Whether you're a full-time rancher or part-time adventure seeker, make sure your ATV, UTV, quad, or side-by-side are protected. At Blue Valley Insurance, we carry a range of policies that cover different types of risks to your off-road vehicles. Maybe someone gets injured, property gets damaged, or a collision with a vehicle or fence. The right insurance can help with out-of-pocket costs. Ride with confidence knowing you're protected with Blue Valley Insurance of Lynn, Greenleaf, Hanover, and Marysville.
Nebraska, Mid-America Network News. I'm Andy Hoosier. The University of Nebraska's Board of Regents says they wrapped up the end of last week approving multiple different bylaw changes on Friday after a response to President Donald Trump and their investigation on the University of Nebraska with ongoing DEI policies at the university. According to the Nebraska Examiner, they say that with the vote that happened on Friday in a 6-2 vote, the Board of Regents amended various different policies that included the equal opportunity in employment, admission of students, and cultural diversity in settings of non-resident tuition readmission programs. According to the 4 votes that did not support the changes, they say that the federal DEI policies did not specifically define targeted programs and said DEI is not just for race or ethnicity, but also about women, first-generation college students, non-traditional students, veterans, low-income students, and students with disabilities. The university is still currently under investigation of the Federal Department of Education's new mandates. At American Network News.
Warm weather is on the way, and it's time for spring cleaning. Cut down on clutter by signing up for paperless billing with Blue Valley Technologies. Tired of mail delays? No need to worry, with monthly invoices being sent directly to your email. Sign up before April 30th for paperless billing by changing your account settings online at bluevalley.net or call our office at 877-876-1228 and receive a one-time $20 bill credit.
Reporting local news, I'm Bruce Dierking. Marshall and Washington County Commissioners' meetings last week were largely routine business. Recent approval was given for Washington County Public Works to purchase a motor grader for $188,000 and an excavator for $224,000. An older grader will be sold, and Public Works is planning purchase of a new skid steer for $119,000. Washington County also discussed continuation of group health benefits for retirees and their dependents if qualifying criteria, including application within 30 days of retirement, is met. Nemaha County Commissioners discussed the construction demolition pit at the landfill, which caught fire recently. Concerns with filling the space before expiration of the KDHE agreement were mentioned, with alternatives and communication with local businesses affected. Rates were established and guidelines for requesting dust control on Nemaha County roads. Township roads are not eligible. Cost to be paid by adjacent property owners with a minimum 500 feet at $1.54 per foot. Sign up due May 1st at the Highway Department office in Seneca. A meeting with the Department of Transportation to discuss upcoming replacement of the K-236 bridge south of Oneida was held recently. Commissioners opted not to join the Kansas County Highway Association at this time. A resolution was passed unanimously to adopt a new Nemaha County Neighborhood Revitalization Program, a 5-year prorated tax rebate toward improvements including residential or commercial properties available, with application to be filed prior to construction. Cities of Seneca and Sabetha are excluded from the county program as city resolutions apply. Gage County Board of Supervisors voted 6-1 to appeal a district judge ruling that the county overstepped its authority in denying a construction permit for Pinpoint Communications for a proposed broadband project. The denial was based on a theory that it would infringe on another similar project with NextLink that's utilizing financing approved by Gage County through the American Rescue Plan Act. Noting a duty to wisely use tax dollars to support that decision, the matter was challenged, with the judge pointing out this was a right-of-way call and the county is not in the business of determining what services should be involved. Gary Lytle was the dissenting vote on the appeal decision. Governor Laura Kelly last week appointed Jennifer O'Hare of Lincoln, Kansas, to the new 12th Judicial District Judge position created through the Kansas Supreme Court, which eliminates a district magistrate position and adds a new district judgeship. O'Hare has legal experience, including 20 years as a county attorney and more than 4 years as district magistrate judge. The 6-county district includes Washington, Republic, Jewell, Cloud, Mitchell, and Lincoln. After serving 1 year in office, the new district judge must stand for a retention vote in the next general election to remain in the position. If retained, the incumbent will serve a 4-year term. USD 380 Vermilion and Axtell Public School were among recipients of waste tire product grants through the Kansas Department of Health and Environment. The annual grants are awarded municipalities and school districts using recycled tire products for playground surfacing and outdoor equipment. Grants are funded through the tire excise tax. USD 380 grant totals $36,000. Axtell's grant $17,000. Your News on Your Time, a podcast of the morning and midday news blocks available on our website at KNDYradio.com and our social media. Dennis E. Hampel, age 79, of Marysville, passed away Wednesday. Memorial service is planned May 3rd, 11 a.m. at the Christy Anders Funeral Home in Waterville. Graveside service at the Fancy Creek Randolph Cemetery, with a visitation May 2nd at the Christy Anders Funeral Home in charge of arrangements for Dennis Hampel. On the Marshall County Senior Citizens Lunch Menu today, chicken strips, a biscuit, sweet potatoes, broccoli, and applesauce. Tomorrow, lasagna, garlic bread, salad, pineapple, and cake. KNDY News Time, 7:13.
At United Bank & Trust, we get it. Bank hours don't always fit into your schedule. With the United Bank & Trust mobile banking app, you can bank anytime, anywhere. At home, at work, or anywhere in between. You can perform convenient and secure transactions like mobile check deposit, transfer money between accounts, or see your balance instantly. Find it by searching for United Bank & Trust mobile app in your app store. Mobile banking with United Bank & Trust. It's banking for your way of life. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Here's your KNDY weatherology forecast for northeast Kansas and southeast Nebraska. Partly sunny and breezy today with our highs in the mid to upper 60s, northwest winds between 15 and 20, and gusting as high as 30. Mostly clear skies overnight with our lows in the upper 20s and mid 30s, northwest winds between 5 and 20, and gusting as high as 30. Some sunshine throughout Tuesday with our highs in the upper 60s and lower 70s, then mostly clear skies over Tuesday night with our lows in the upper 40s and lower 50s. There will be a slight chance for some rain showers throughout Wednesday, otherwise sunny with our highs in the mid to upper 60s. South winds between 10 and 15 and gusting as high as 30. Then scattered showers possible on Wednesday night with our lows in the mid to upper 50s. South winds between 10 and 15 and gusting as high as 25. Some scattered showers are possible into Thursday, otherwise mostly sunny with our highs in the lower 90s. South winds between 10 and 15 and gusting as high as 25. Then scattered showers are possible into Thursday night, partly cloudy with our lows in the upper 40s and mid-50s. Southwest winds around 15 and gusting as high as 30. And some scattered showers possible early Friday. I'm meteorologist Kara Foster.
Average high temperature mid-April 66. Record high in the state 91. The average low 42 and the record low 18 degrees. Sunset this evening 8:03. Sunrise in the morning at 6:51. It's 50 and windy already. That's check of the morning news and weather for this Monday, the 14th of April. KNDY News Time, 7:15. I'm Bruce Dierking reporting.
He went all the way to 11, but finally does it. Good morning, I'm Jay Reynolds. Rory McIlroy captures the green jacket yesterday at Augusta National with a win over Justin Rose on the first playoff hole and wins the Masters. His fifth major title overall, his first Masters win, which completes the career Grand Slam after trying to do that for the past 11 years.
Today was difficult. I was unbelievably nervous this morning. It was a heavy weight to carry, and, thankfully now I don't have to carry it, and it frees me up, and, I know I'm coming back here every year, which is lovely.
McIlroy becomes the sixth golfer to complete the career Grand Slam. Gene Sarazen, Ben Hogan, Gary Player, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, the others. Justin Rose, beaten in a playoff at the Masters, just as he was in 2017 by Sergio Garcia. Sunday also marking the end of the NBA regular season. The 4 through 10 seeds in the West were all in play. The 4 seed goes to Denver, which beats Houston 126-111. That's 3 straight 50-win seasons for the Nuggets. The 5 seed, L.A.
And the Clippers catch the current when it counts and sail into the playoffs. They take down Golden State 124-119. And in game 82 in overtime, the Clippers find a way to a date with Denver.
Clippers are the 5 seed. They will face the 4th seeded Nuggets, AM 570 LA Sports. As for the Warriors, they settle for the 7 seed. They'll be in the play-in tournament facing Memphis in the 7-8 matchup. Memphis beating Dallas yesterday. Mavs in 10th. They play the Kings in the play-in the 9-10 elimination game. Baseball, the Cubs take the Sunday night game in LA over the Dodgers 4-2. Red Sox beat the White Sox 3-1. Garrett Crochet for Boston takes a no-hitter to the 8th. Giants edge New York 5-4. San Francisco's 111 of 15. Padres with a shutout of the Rockies again. They win 6-0 yesterday. Padres sweep the series without giving up a run.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
May I help you?
I just wanted to request a late checkout, please.
Of course. That's $30 per hour for up to 4 hours.
Huh. Okay, but if you can offer a late checkout, then that probably means no one is staying in that room. So if it's empty, maybe I can just stay a few extra hours.
Oh, aren't you adorable?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Whether your Easter plans have you stepping out on Sunday or hosting a group at home, Macy's Easter sale has great deals on everything you'll need to celebrate. Like 50% off dressy brunch looks to level up your whole family style. And 50 to 60% off hosting must-haves, like the classic Butterfly Meadow collection from Lenox. But don't miss out, because just like an Easter egg hunt, there's so much to discover. But you gotta move quick. At Macy's Easter sale, Wednesday. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
From ABC News, Wall Street now. After one of the most volatile weeks in the stock market since the pandemic, the major futures point to gains at the opening today. On Friday, the Dow Jones rose 619 points to close back above 40,000. The S&P added 1.8%. The Nasdaq Composite 2%. The tech-heavy Nasdaq could be in for more turmoil. President Trump says he'll announce new tariffs on imported semiconductors soon. Last week, Trump exempted some electronics from the tariffs list. The trade war between Washington and Beijing has brought shipments of rare earth materials from China to a standstill. China is the source of 90% of those materials used in the energy, automotive, and defense sectors. The price of Sony's PlayStation 5 is rising in Europe, Australia, and New Zealand in the face of what Sony calls a challenging economic environment. In Europe, the PS5 digital edition is going up from $513 to $569 US. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Good Monday morning. I'm your farm broadcaster, Sam Speck, with your latest agricultural news here on the Mid-America Ag Network. President Trump, during his tariff announcement back on Wednesday of last week, touted a drop in egg prices, crediting USDA Secretary Brooke Rollins. Trump stuck a humorous note as he brought up eggs.
The first week, I got blamed for eggs. I said, I just got here. They said eggs have gone up at like 250% and you can't get eggs. And they were going crazy. And I said, I just got here.
But Trump says it was USDA Secretary Brooke Rollins getting to work on the problem, issuing $1 billion for biosecurity, vaccine research, and financial relief for farmers.
And our great Secretary of Agriculture, you did a fantastic job, Brooke Rollins. You did a fantastic job. And as I said before, the price of eggs dropped now 59%, and they're going down more, and the availability is fantastic.
Bird flu outbreaks have slowed, and the United States Department of Agriculture reported in late March that wholesale egg prices fell to $3.27 per dozen as supplies rapidly improved. Trump says Easter egg lovers could have been in trouble.
They were saying that for Easter, please don't use eggs. Could you use plastic eggs? I said, we don't want to do that.
Wholesale prices peaked in February at more than $8. Looking back in the history books, a dozen eggs at retail cost just $2.04 in August of 2023. Now, quickly, in conclusion, China's finance ministry will impose a 34% tariff on all U.S. imports starting April 10th. CNBC says its response to duties imposed by U.S. President Donald Trump. China's state news agency says the Chinese government is calling on the United States to immediately cancel its unilateral tariff measure and resolve trade differences between the two countries in a manner to beneficial both sides. The ministry also said the now 54% tariffs on Chinese imports into the U.S. are inconsistent with the international trade rules and seriously undermines Chinese interests. Sam Speck on the Mid-America Ag Network.
From Kansas State University, this is Agriculture Today. I'm Jacob Clout. President Donald Trump recently deployed numerous tariffs on many of the trading partners of the United States. K-State and Washburn law professor Roger McOwen explains whether tariffs will positively or negatively influence agriculture.
Long term, if the U.S. can achieve parity on tariff rates, that would be good for the U.S. farmer and rancher. And of course, there's going to be a short-term hit until the tariff rate negotiating is completed, which is what we're going through right now. And the most recent news is that 70 countries have already started negotiations with the White House to drop their tariffs, and some have announced they're going to eliminate them completely, Vietnam and Israel in particular. And now Japan is at the table negotiating tariffs. So if we can get tariffs down, that's good for world trade, and that's good for the U.S., and that's good for the U.S. farmer and rancher. And if we can get them eliminated, that'd be great.
He discusses how the size of the government and tax policy relate to tariffs.
The whole idea of tariffs and downsizing government and tax policy, they all fit hand in glove together. Tariffs can be more powerful if the size of government is decreased. Now, the president has referred to tariffs that we had in the late 1800s and in the early 1900s before we had the tax code, because that's where we generated revenue from. At that point in time, the government expenditures as a percentage of GDP was about 1.5% to 2% of GDP. Now we're 10 times that. So you would have to have a relatively higher tax rate to generate equivalent amount of revenue to replace income tax. So by downsizing government, that means that tariffs would not have to be as high to generate sufficient revenue. Even if you had it at 100% right now, you couldn't offset all of the tax revenue that is brought in.
McOwen shares a possible outcome that would benefit producers.
If we continue the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act provisions and then add in what the president is wanting, that means farmers and ranchers will continue to get the 20% qualified business income deduction. You'll get a 15% rate on domestic production of ag products if you're a C corporation. You're going to get 100% bonus depreciation. They're going to try to make that retroactive. Those are incredibly important to producers. The downsizing of government and tariff revenue can help pay for that. So this is all important that all three of these pieces of the puzzle come together.
That was Kansas State University and Washburn Law professor Roger McOwen on the effects of tariffs on agriculture. Learn more at www.agmanager.info. I'm Jacob Clout. This has been Agriculture Today over the K-State Radio Network.
Good morning, Dennis Hendricks, Beatrice 77 Livestock for another great Monday with a little bit of wind already this morning, but certainly getting used to that. So good morning to all. Hey, it's a Monday with a 10 o'clock start, and we'll rock and roll here today on a really high-quality set of cattle. We certainly got a lot of hay, and getting to the markets, we lost a little bit of power last week. I guess with the tariffs, it's got the market upset a little bit. However, those feeder cattle were certainly staying right up there. In the harvest cattle, the steers and heifers going to market, 208 on the cash. The carcass come in at 327 to 328. Like I said, a little bit lower, but certainly still pretty strong beef prices going on. Well, here today with a 10 o'clock start, let's get into the listing. Certainly have one black heifer bottle calf, 10 days old. There's two black families. They're going to be 8 years to broken, with certainly fancy March 10 heifer calves. If those cows are split, certainly two more really nice calves if you're interested in baby calves. In the bred cow department, we're going to be pregging 8 black bred cows, broken mouth. They're going to be bred to Red Angus calf in June, and we'll certainly have the preg and mouth status here when they come in the barn right there afternoon. In the cattle, we've got a great run, starting off with 5 little Red Angus LHT sired heifers, guys. Really nice heifers, high quality, good replacement. If you want to take some 550 pounders, grow them out, a nice set. Cisco's got 10 black and black baldies, 400 to 600. Another group of small numbers, 5 black and red. They're going to be that 450 to 500. Then we start jumping up the Bartles calves, 8 black steer and heifers, 5 to 650. Then we're going to get into a lot of yearlings today, really, really good quality. 80 black and black baldy background yearlings are going to be 775 to 850. The Banahan calves, yearlings, I should say, out of Endicott, 120 black and black baldy heifers. Party's got a potload of 60 black background steer yearlings at 8 1/4. Cumro out of Table Rock, 18 black and red steers at 7 to 775. The little yearlings are going to be 15 head of black heifers, 8 to 8 1/2. Then we're going to roll into Brian Brower calves out of Claytonia, 70 black and red steers. They're going to weigh 6 to 6 1/4. Looters out of Marysville's got 38. Black and Black Baldy, really green, good fall calves, 400 to 575. Schaefer out of Jansen's got 30 black steer and heifers, 5 to 600. The Folkert's got 23 black steer and heifers, 475 to 6. Kapke out of Claytonia's got 47 black steer and heifers, 5 to 600. Mr. Bear out of Claytonia's got a handful of yearlings. They're going to be 7 black and red. Heifers at 750. Richardson Farms at Adams has 47 black steer and heifers. They're going to be 5 to 700. The Denton calves, there's 13 black and red steer and heifers. They're going to be 6 to 800. The Dobbin Dick cattle, 13 black steer and heifers. They're going to be yearlings at 7 to 800. The Bartles out of Tobias, 19 black steer and heifers. They're going to weigh 4 to 600. Fankhauser out of Humboldt, 16 black steer and heifers coming off the cow at 6 to 800. Mahler out of Adams got 14 black bull heifers. They're going to be 5 to 700. Yersa calves out of Milford, 12 black red heifers, 450 to 550. Jurgenau at Fairbury, 10 black and red steer and heifers, 5 1/4, 675. Wallenberg got a Plymouth, 16 black steer and heifers, 500. Kyle Dentz has got some very nice 8 red Angus steer and heifers, 700. So, nice sale, good quality, folks. So, certainly give us a call. Alicia, Rick, Denny, Brian, Ryan, Slim, the whole crew. Hey, we do appreciate the business in the haystack.
We don't put too much stock in ancient tribal rainmaking rituals, but is modern science any more effective? A closer look today from the Old Farmer's Almanac.
Imagine a life-threatening storm heads toward your home in the middle of the night. You don't hear the notifications. You can't hear the sirens. The best way to keep you and your family safe is Weather Call. When you're in the direct path of a life-threatening storm or tornado, you'll receive a phone call letting you know where the storm is and when it will arrive. Learn more online by visiting weathercall.now. That's weathercall.now. WeatherCall travels with you. Wherever you are, it will monitor life-threatening storms at home, work, or on vacation. Customize your alerts. Get lightning safety messages. For just $15 per year, WeatherCall could save your life. Sign up online at weathercall.now. That's weathercall.now. Weathercall.now.
With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report for Monday, April 14th, the 104th day of the year. Country singer Loretta Lynn was born on this day. Since the earliest days of human history, people have dreamed of manipulating the weather. Are we any closer today than centuries past? Some recent excitement has come from the Arabian deserts, where special ionizers are said to have processed hundreds of artificial rainstorms. Though the scientific community remains skeptical, even in the U.S., the practice of cloud seeding is being called into question. Studies suggest it doesn't produce more rainfall than would otherwise occur by chance. So go ahead and scoff at those ancient tribal rainmaking rituals. But it seems we're no better at changing the weather than they were. That is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. You can learn more online. Just go to almanac.com.
7:31 from KNDY, 50 this hour. Middle 60s on a little cooler high temps than we've had over the weekend, but then a warm up into midweek. Back around 90 by Thursday.
Ag News from the Mid-America Ag Network. I'm Andy Hoosier. Well, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, they say there has been a surge over the past year of imports of cooking oils in the nation. What does that mean for those in the nation's biofuel industry, according to Agriculture Department Chief Economist Seth Meyer?
Almost a year ago at the USDA Agricultural Outlook Forum, the department's chief economist noted this problem as a defined value term.
It's going to be a problem, and it certainly has proven to be an issue of growing volumes of used cooking oil imports.
And Chief Economist Seth Meyer says used cooking oil was one of the few surging imports of farm and food products in 2024. It was also unexpected by several, as our nation grows its own biofuels industry. Yet he explains,
this is being driven by biofuel policy. These are the kinds of things which, when I look forward, are elements not directly in the marketplace. It's these types of policies.
Ag News from the Mid-America Ag Network. I'm Andy Hoosier.
Hey, K-State fans, football season will be here before you know it, and 2025 season tickets are on sale now. Order your season tickets today and secure a seat in the bill for all 6 home games this fall. Saturdays in Manhattan are best when spent cheering on the Cats with 50,000 members of the K-State family. To order, visit kstatesports.com or call 1-800-221-CATS. Go Cats!
Marysville softball and baseball teams swept doubleheaders hosting Valley Heights Friday. Lady softball team for MHS wins 15-3 and 12-2, while the Bulldog baseball team won 12-2 and 11-0. Monday, Valley Heights softball is back in action hosting Onega, Mustang baseball at Onega. Centralia will host Blue Valley in softball and baseball Monday. Marysville returns to action Tuesday hosting Abilene, with softball and baseball doubleheaders beginning at 4:30. MHS boys tennis will host a quad Monday beginning at City Park at 3, with boys golf at Sabetha. The Bulldog track teams travel to Smith Center Tuesday. Big East took the North Central Kansas League by 3 in the boys All-Star game at Marysville Sunday.
KNDY.